Hello, everyone. Picture two neighbors living in the same street in the same town, reading the same news article, but in two completely different universes. They watch the same event, but each think they're delusional, misinformed, or even dangerous. Guys, it's not a hypothetical, it's America today. Take for an example the case of the city of Santa Barbara banning dihydrogen monoxide. Information was presented in a way that is made it seem like doomsday, and if you've seen the graphic, you may agree. The dangers of dihydrogen monoxide include colorless and odorless. Inhaled of too much DHMO could be fatal. Symptoms of DHMO include excessive sweating and urination, possible bloating, nausea, vomiting. Guys, what if I told you dihydrogen monoxide was water? Well, it is. And the whole campaign of Santa Barbara banning dihydrogen monoxide was silly. And here goes and proves my point today. Media outlets once held themselves accountable to a standard of accuracy and balance. But today, misinformation is prone, outrage is addictive, and the public is drowning in contradicting narratives. Even if information is correct, it is presented in a way it's favorable to one side. As communications scholar Kathleen Hall Jamieson warns, the erosion of shared facts is one of the most significant threats to democratic stability. We are living in erosion. The fact is, the problem is we face a crisis of information, one that harms communities, divides families, and weakens democracy. The Fairness Doctrine, created in 1949, required broadcasters using a public airwaves to provide coverage of controversial issues that was honest and balanced. It was not censorship. It was responsibility. In 1987, the Federal Communications Commission eliminated the doctrine, and the consequences were immediate. As media historian David Brock noted after his repeal, talk radio and cable news exploded in ways that rewarded extreme over accuracy. Without the doctrine or equivalent standards, major news outlets gradually shifted from informing citizens to capturing attention. Algorithms now feed us only what maintains outrage or emotional engagement. Research from the Pew Research Center shows that trust in national news has dropped to some of the lowest levels in modern U.S. history, with only about 1/3 of Americans expressing confidence the news organizations report accurately. These are standards found in ethical journalism's codes already, yet they lack enforcement. A modern policy framework would provide accountability. The solution is clear. We must reinstate a modernized fairness doctrine and require truth in news reportings across broadcast and major digital platforms. A new version would require that major news outlets present significant public issues in a manner that is fair, fact-based, and balanced, ensure that it's clearly distinguished from factual reporting, provide standards for responsible journalism across broadcast and digital platforms that reach millions, independent review boards, public reporting mechanisms, and transparent editorial standards would give the public tools to understand how information is produced, vetted, and corrected. We already regulate truthfulness in advertising, financial disclosures, court testimonies, and scientific research. Truth in journalism should be no different. Democracy relies on voters who can evaluate issues based on common information. But the absence of truth standards means falsehoods can travel faster than facts. Political scientist Yochia Benkler highlights that the lack of structural safeguards in the media has enabled radicalized misinformation ecosystems that distort public understanding. We are watching polarization, distrust, misinformation accelerate without any guardrails. This is not about silencing opinion. This is about guaranteeing that opinions are grounded in factual reality. News organizations should be required to verify information before publishing it or airing it, correct false statements promptly or visibly, disclose conflicts of interest and sources of financial influence, label opinion, analysis, and entertainment content clearly. If we act, imagine a news environment where Americans, even those with different political views, agree on basic facts. Imagine a society where false reporting carries consequences, where information and news are clearly separated, and where trust in journalism begins to rebuild. With the modern fairness doctrine, our elections would be less vulnerable and harmful misinformation. Our communities would be less polarized. Our debates would be honest about solutions, not about what's reality and what's true. Citizens could once again rely on news organizations as guides. However, if we do not act, misinformation will continue spreading faster than facts, political polarization will deepen, bad actors, foreign or domestic, will exploit an unregulated information marketplace, public trust in journalism may collapse beyond repair. A democracy without shared truth is democracy at risk. We stand at a crossroad here. Strengthen the informational foundation for our country, or watch it crack further beneath us. So what can you guys do? What you guys can do is contact your representatives. Urge them to support legislation that reinstates or modernizes the fairness doctrine and establishes truth in reporting standards. Support media accountability organizations. Nonprofits like the Poynter Institute, the Center of Media of Democracy, and other nonprofits, fact-checking and media ethics groups rely on public engagement. Demand transparency from news outlets. Write letters, submit feedback, make your voice heard. Media organizations respond to public pressure. Consume news responsibly. Seek multiple fact-based sources. Support ethical journalism and refuse to reward sensationalism with your clicks or time. Vote for leaders who prioritize truth. Elect officials who recognize that a functional democracy depends on an informed public. And I'll give you guys a minute to look this over and take a picture if you would like. This is a list of contacts for representatives. The Fairness Doctrine was created in a time when leaders recognized that truth was not negotiable. Today, its absence is no longer noticeable, and it's very dangerous. Bringing back a modernized fairness doctrine and establishing truth in news standards is not about politics. It's about patriotism. It's about strengthening the foundation upon which every democratic institution stands. Let us choose truth. Let us choose accountability. Let us choose a media worthy of a free and democratic society. The time is to act now.